All right, so this video is designed to give you a bit of an overview on the Adelaide 100 run that myself and my friend Marcus did a couple of weeks ago now. So the Adelaide 100 is a walking loop, and it's pretty sure it's created by Walking SA or a couple of people connected to Walking SA. They posted about it first about 2017, which is when we first saw it. So we pretty much kicked off at 6 a.m. in the morning and circumnavigated Adelaide. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the course first up. I'm going to go into our gear, then going to take you through section by section what it was like. Myself and Marcus recorded a podcast with another friend, Tim. I'm going to link that below. If you'd like some more details on the run, you can check out that. We go really in depth and we share our thoughts about our nutrition and everything like that. I'll give you a quick overview of everything on the loop first up. It circumnavigates Adelaide. You have the option of basically flying straight into Adelaide, staying at the airport hotel, and then section hiking it over 6 days, or as long as you want. There's plenty of accommodation along the way, including luxury accommodation. Like, if you want to really do this well, you can definitely do this well. There's some great accommodation options around here. So like I said, I'm just going to highlight the parks first up that it takes in. So first up, the linear trail, which follows our River Torrens all the way from the Adelaide Hills down to the coast. There's O'Halloran Hill. And then we've also got Sturt Gorge, which in winter is absolutely beautiful. Belair National Park. There's Mark Oliphant out here, which is very similar to Belair National Park. There's Mount George up there. There's another little one when you cross over, near Carey Gully. There's a nice little spot that you cross through after Mount Gorge, which I found to be like one of the most beautiful places across the course. And then you go through Norton Summit. You also pick up Morialta here, though you don't go into Morialta Conservation Park. You kind of just go over the back of it and straight into Black Hill Conservation Park, which is a bit of a technical climb. And then there's this little park down here called Thorndon Park. Marcus did a few reconnaissance runs to get in the back half of the course because we really weren't sure what we were doing back there. And it involved a little bit of figuring out because the course isn't quite fully built yet. They've announced it, but they haven't installed all the posts or cleared the blackberries in some places. So there's some interesting fights that you have with the blackberries. We thought the rotunda in the centre of Adelaide was a really good place to really stamp on the FKT mark. And we did that for two reasons. One, central to Adelaide. Two, the whole of Linear Trail, which follows the Torrens, is shared use bike path. It's concrete, bitumen. It hurts the feet. And doing 30 Ks of that from the hills all the way down to the coast at the end of the run just would have lost us way too much time, and we don't feel like it would have been enjoyable. And without revealing too much about the end of this video, it wasn't particularly enjoyable. Well, after you do 118 Ks, that final 15 Ks of being on a shared use bike path is just not that fun. So look, I'm going to cut in a whole bunch of videos that I took on the day. First video here is the night before, going into the gear that I used. Super simple gear shakedown. This is for the run tomorrow morning. I'll start with the easy stuff. Seal skins. These keep my hands really toasty warm. They're waterproof, and they'll probably be used at the start and the end. Headlamp. Most of the start and the finish is on flat, so not imagining too much use on that one. So our dark sections are going to be on the flat, but just taking it anyway, because if we get stuck on the trail, definitely going to need that. A couple of water bottles, and then the Ultimate Direction backpack, which I've used for so many runs. Like you can see, it's still got the Ultra Trail tag on there from last year, and it's just like coming apart there. Inside it, I've got wet wipes, and I've got Vaseline as well, just in case I get any hot spots, those things. Got the Fenix. I'm on the 5X, the old one. Heart rate strap, phone, of course. Pickle juice. This is fantastic stuff. If you haven't heard of it before, highly recommend checking some of this out. It is a ton of electrolytes. It just cures cramp instantly. Definitely always carry one of those in the backpack, if not for myself, for another runner nearby, because guaranteed you're going to cross someone that has a cramp. Maybe not tomorrow because it's just me and Marcus running, but always carry this. Cool. This is going to be the first time that I've used these in a
race situation. These are spring energy gels. I've got some caffeinated ones here, and I've just got some regular ones. The reason I got them is because they're packed with like dense energy, lots of calories, and lots of like whole food as well. So I'm hoping that they will starve off some of the hunger cramps, so I don't have to carry too much real food. I've got some nuts here, some salted peanuts, and I've just mixed it in with, I think hikers call this scrog. I have it all the time when I hike. I've just mixed it in with some lollies and some salted peanuts, and the salty, sugary mix is real good. I'm hoping I enjoy that, because I usually don't enjoy these types of lollies. And then a lot of the nutrition is coming from this stuff, which is the Infinite Go Far. It's got a ton of electrolytes, a bit of protein in there, lots of calories, aminos, but no caffeine. So yeah, I'm basically relying on this and a lot of this stuff. This should be more than enough energy. I'm probably going to be burning between 3,000 and 4,500 calories. Yeah.
I felt like I underfueled for the day. I lacked some comfort food, stuff like maybe a nice piece of bread, or something savoury to eat, something like a Mars bar, or maybe a little bit of Coke or something, some sort of powder other than what I was drinking. I didn't really feel like eating the scrog that I made, the nuts and stuff. That was kind of, it wasn't palatable, and I was relying on that being a lot of my calories. In retrospect, I would have packed more calories, and yeah, just varied them a lot more. I definitely would have bought a battery charger for my watch. I definitely would have bought a few more warm clothes. I really felt like towards the end of the loop, I just needed to chuck on something that was a little bit warm. It would have made the run far more enjoyable for me. So, should probably get into the sections that we did.
So, 6 a.m. Woo. Rotunda, Nelda Park, about to kick off.
We ran down the Torrens, which was pretty uneventful, encountering people on, of course, their morning commutes, riding up the Torrens. Once we got down to the beach, we made our way along the coast.
First check-in. Marcus is on the phone. It's a pretty casual run thus far. So we are about 20 k's in. We're halfway between Glenelg and Brighton. I'll check back in when we hit some trail.
Once we got down to Seacliff, roughly followed the Summit course.
30 k's in, just under 3 hours. So the scenery's drastically changed since last time I checked in. We're in a place called Magpie Gully. So we join on to this bit for about 20 k's. And then we drop out the back of a Blair National Park. But yeah, this is a lovely bit of trail.
Sturt Gorge, of course, always beautiful, particularly in winter with all the rain that's coming through, the rainfall there. It's a really nice experience. And we came up through Blackwood and into Blair National Park.
They're not usually on the ground.
No, he's sitting in the middle of the path and it's just wandered off. But
Yeah.
Very cool.
40, just over 45k. Currently going through Blair.
After Blair National Park, I started to get a little bit walky in there. Obviously, we maintained a really good click for 5 hours by that point. And yeah, by about 5 and a bit hours, I was starting to feel a bit sore in the feet and started to reduce our pace a little bit. But that first part allowed us to really bank a lot of time.
We are almost 6 hours in, just over 50k. Currently at
Woollybutt Road,
which is also a no-through road.
Then This was this part of the course was all new for me, and Marcus had done a bit of a reconnaissance run on it. Weren't super familiar with it, and it was definitely a treat going out the back of Belair National Park and through the next part of the course, which we were unfamiliar with. So we went out into a national park called Mark Oliphant, which was absolutely beautiful.
We've just gone halfway, which is really exciting. We've been going for 6.5 hours now, which is pretty quick for 60k. I'm pretty happy with that. We're in Heathfield. Nearly at Stirling. Feels like we've gone so far, but we're still so far away. I don't know we're so far away, but it took a long time to get here. Oh my god, there's a koala on the road. So I'm a tip for the day. Yeah, buddy.
And then across to Aldgate into Mount George, which was probably the highlight for both me and Marcus for the day, was going through Mount George. It's a beautiful climb. It's not really well trafficked, and you get a view of the back of Mount Lofty. So Mount Lofty's up here, and you get to see the back of Mount Lofty and across the whole range is there, which is just it's just a beautiful sight.
Whew. So
See Lofty House. Oh no, it's not Lofty House. That's that crazy
that's Lofty.
castle. You know the castle?
Where's that?
When you come out of Lofty and you head down a shortcut that
Oh
way.
yeah, you can see it.
Right.
Yeah. Mount George Summit, 5:20. We are almost 8 hours in. Almost 70k. So we'll hit 70k about 8 hours in. So the last 10k have been pretty slow going, but yeah, I mean, that was always to be expected. Now we're counting down. 50 to go.
So after climbing up Mount George, we make our way Bridgewater. I think there was another water stop around here somewhere. Now, when I was saying about like doing this walking loop, you have the ability to stop in for some luxury accommodation. The Sterling Hotel, which is just over here, I mean, that's some great accommodation right there. Their rooms are just luxurious. So if you're just doing this for you could do this very, very well and stop for a pub dinner every single night if you wanted to. So from here, went crossed over Green Hill Road into what was a really nice park just there, and you can camp there. The views there are quite nice. Made our way to Norton Summit. Now, Norton Summit was our next water stop. This section here was our longest section without water. I think it was about 24 k's. And time-wise, because we'd been on our legs for so much, we were expecting to take a while to get through that.
Things are starting to look familiar. I haven't done the course, like this part of the course before, but heading towards Norton Summit, which is a part that I have done plenty of times, and I've recce'd the final bit of the course, so I know that bit, but it's just been all Marcus up until now.
Sort of know where we're going.
Sort of know. We are 78 k's in, so we have 40 k's to go. In probably a bit. We're going to try and get there before 9 o'clock, so we've got to do a marathon in 6 hours, which sounds alright, but you know,
Some big hills to do still.
we've got hills and we're toast.
One thing that I do regret doing there is I took 1.5 litres worth of fluid with me, but I only added my Infinite Go Far nutrition, which I was using for my main nutrition for the day, to 1 litre worth of the water. I should have added it to the full 1.5, so I was really taking in, and that was probably the first part where I've really noticed that I'm lacking a bit of calories for the day, and I just didn't really get myself out of the slump. I really needed to catch up by that point, which is where some comfort food would have really helped. From Norton Summit, you continue round the back of Morialta.
Here we are, just descending Fox Dam. It's probably the last time we'll get some light for the run. Sun's just about to set. Street lights are coming on. We are. Let me check my watch. 91 k's in, 11 hours and 7 minutes.
One hill to go.
And one hill to go.
And into the hardest climb for the day, which we were honestly surprised they put in the walking loop. You go up this place called Orchard Trail, which is it's a brutal climb. It's like maybe 20-30% in places, and then quite a technical descent through Black Hill as well, all the way down to Addison Road there. From here, you head through into Thorndon Park, which was our final water stop for the day, which we didn't actually onboard any water there. We were still, because the temperature had dropped and our speed had dropped, we didn't really feel like we needed to take on any more water. I probably needed to take on nutrition, as I did for the full day right there. And then pretty uneventful little section all the way down Linear Park to the finish. Now, that was never going to be a pretty finish. That was always going to be quite a struggle, and I didn't really record much video in that section right there. So we finished, myself and Marcus finished in 15 hours and 7 minutes.
Was that ready to stop too? That's good timing. 3, 2, 1. Watches. Well, that was a fairly big day, wasn't it?
Fairly.
I think I've had enough running.
I've definitely had enough running.
Overall, it was a fantastic day out. Initially, I was a little bit skeptical about how much I was going to enjoy this run, because it's a walking loop. It takes in probably 30 or 40 kilometres worth of 50 kilometres worth of road in it, and shared use bike trail and that sort of thing. And as a trail runner, I didn't think that I was going to find that enjoyable. But the places that they take in throughout the day were just absolutely incredible. I loved this loop, and so did Marcus. So we wanted to send a big thank you to the people from Adelaide100 that had put this one together. We're tossing up whether I think in the podcast, the question was posed whether we'd do it again. I'd definitely give it another go. It'd be more fun as a walking loop, because you get to take in so many amazing sites, like I was saying, Mount George and some of the areas around, walking through up to Norton Summit and Thorndon Park. Like, it's just an enjoyable walking loop, and you can see why they've taken in so many of those locations. There's times when I was running along with my head down looking at the trail, I felt like if I looked up, and I did, the times when I did look up and look around, there were so many amazing sights and views to take in. But as a runner, like when you're trying to do an FKT, you're not really taking all those moments in. But a couple of things that Marcus said on the podcast is you don't really expect to come out the back of Bridgewater, and that's just immediately, you're within an hour of the Adelaide CBD by car, and you're in farmland. There's cows, there's yak, there's goat, there's sheep, there's everything out there. I think we saw some alpacas, llamas. You just don't expect that so close to a capital city. And to get this much trail in this close to a capital city is just, absolutely fantastic. And of course, if you wanted more detail on this, you can check out the Runner Chakra podcast that myself and Marcus recorded with my co-host Tim. That's up on Spotify and absolutely everywhere. All right. Thank you.